So Auburn isn't hosting Baylor this upcoming season.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. It's a bonus edition of the show today. Ben Taylor of Auburn-Opelika this morning hanging out with us, part of the Auburn Network family of stations. Due to the timing of recording and all that, I haven't really been able to attack this topic yet. And Ben, I'm glad I'm doing it with you because you talk to these business owners that are going to be impacted by this every single day on your show. So the Auburn half of the home and home they announced yesterday will not be played at Jordan-Hare Stadium. It will be played in Atlanta. Yep. And it's going to offer, a bunch of NIL opportunities for players. They're estimating $5 million for NIL opportunity for Auburn student athletes, which is great. I want all the Auburn athletes to make all the money in the world. I love that. No issue with that at all. But this is sending a message. And if you look at anything Auburn's posted about it, they're posting about it loud and proud. And then you look at all the comments and it's like, you are taking so much money away from local businesses. And also just the pride aspect of you're giving up. I think it's still technically being a home game. Auburn is hosting Baylor in Atlanta, however that works. But Auburn fans are not liking this, Ben Taylor, and I can't blame them at all.
I hope businesses riot because John Cohen, that is, did not really consult, from what I've been told, and the guests that we have on my show. So yes. you know that I'm not going to drop any names, but what I've been told.
I'm going to reach out to him to come on as well. Who you're referring to. Yes.
They did not talk to any of these people. The athletic department didn't. Not that they needed permission.
No.
As a matter of fact, from what I've been told, some were only told 10 to 15 minutes prior to the announcement.
Interesting.
That this is going to be what's happening. And so they've got no way to warn these businesses unless you just do a blast email, I guess, to somebody. So the businesses are finding out in real time like everybody else. Hotels. I mean, Zac, people, one of our guests that we have is the Auburn University Hotel and Conference Center. Have not talked to them yet, but people book a full year out, sometimes more than a year. Some have a standing reservation each and every football season. Put me down for every home game. Now, that hotel and all the rest of the hotels do not receive that money. I will tell you, you were mentioned Anthony. I will mention Anthony because I have talked to him already.
Yeah, that's who I was referring to.
Tourism. You're looking at a weekend like that, probably 90 to 95% capacity on hotels. And those are usually 3-night minimums because it's Labor Day weekend. So with an average room rate of, you're probably looking at $150 to $250 a night. That's also millions of dollars that is not going to be spent in the Auburn-Opelika area. So I don't think this was well thought out. I think this was a money grab. And I understand him saying $5 million to the players. How much is that costing? Because you look at SEC weekends is usually the big ones, and that can generate, I'd say, between $7 and $10 million in the Auburn-Opelika area. And so first home game is usually always a good one too, around $7 to $10 million. This could be a $10 million mistake by John Cohen to the community, to the Auburn-Opelika and Lee County community. So is it worth that $5 million that you probably could have reached out to donors and collectively picked up $1 million from 5 different donors? Because in the grand scheme of things, to me and you, $5 million is a lot of money.
Yes.
To some of these people that donate to the school on a regular basis, if you go to those 5 individuals and ask for $1 million a piece, hey, that's going to go directly to our players. I want to keep this game at home, support the local community. Are you in for that? Could he have gotten that money? Probably. Did he try? Don't know. Sounds like this deal was worked behind the scenes. Don't like it. Looks ugly to me. I think it affects the community more than he realizes. And he's somebody that lives here, so he should take that into account. And I don't like it at all.
Yeah. there's so many angles to this that I think are interesting. One is just Auburn's schedule next year. We don't have the order yet, but I mean this is from when the SEC announced the future opponents. So in a season where you already have 5, I think, pretty impactful road games. I mean, Mississippi State, we'll see what they look like next year, but you're at Alabama, at Georgia, at Ole Miss, at Tennessee, and then you also go to Starkville, and like your home games. I mean, you're hosting Florida and LSU and Arkansas as well. Like that's a brutal schedule.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, like at least like we're hosting Baylor. That's a big home game as well. Not anymore. That's now in Atlanta. And so, just giving up home games where you already have 5 road games in this new era of SEC scheduling that we're going into.
Right.
I think it's a little like I get both sides of this. I want to be very clear. Like I get Cohen's side of this.
I do too. As I've said,
I think they should have rolled it out differently than they did.
Right.
But then again, like I don't know what they could have done differently where Auburn people would have been like, oh, this is great. So I say that, but I don't have anything to back that up with.
My initial response to something like that is, and I still don't know if it would have softened the blow. I do think it would have softened it a little bit, but it is he should have done this for the 2027 season. Trying to go on into deals with this sounds like a last minute because we're less than a year in, and again, talking with the tourism folks, I mean, they make plans sometimes for some events 5 years in advance. So when it comes to big events like that, you need a little bit more time. So I think that's neat because I get the fans' reaction. One thing that I read was somebody said, hey, I've been on a waiting list. I've been donating money to the school for the last 5 years. I just forked over $5,000. And now you're telling me my tickets that I have are not good for opening weekend. I get you being upset about that. You should be upset about it. And the fact that, from what I've been told also that, a lot of people calling the ticket office wasn't really well aware right at the time of what was going on. So they had no answer for
the
them.
folks that handle ticketing are not, this is not their decision.
No, it's not. But I mean that people want to call somebody, you know what I mean? Like if you're somebody that donates 20 grand per year to the school and you get 4 seats to wherever you're sitting in the stadium.
Right.
Now those 4 seats are not good. So you got about 4 extra tickets to go to Atlanta now. I get you being upset and you should be. Now, with that said, I'm with you. Totally get the coincide of things. And I get the athletes and this is today's world of football. They, how can I get paid? Well, we got $5 million. We're going to split amongst the team, for going to Atlanta. And they go, oh.
And I think it's going to be normal. I think it's going to be a normal thing. You're seeing it in basketball, non-conference events. I think we're doing one. So this is going to become a more and more normal thing.
Right.
I think. So once again, like I understand Cohen's side of it. But the other side of, where I think a lot of Auburn fans feel is like, hey, we've been nothing but loyal and supportive throughout literally the worst era from a wins perspective in Auburn football. I mean, they haven't had this many bad years in a row, and we'll see how this one shapes up. It's got the chance to shape up. I'm not throwing this year away. But I don't think it sits right with a lot of fans, and I don't blame them. And look, I cover the games from home, so I go live. Like this doesn't impact me.
Right.
But just looking at it and looking at the response, like, if Auburn cares so much about the fans and all of that, like this doesn't feel like that. This feels like, hey, yes, we're taking millions of dollars away from the community and we're getting it to the players. And is that what you need to do to win now? Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
But I understand, once again, I understand both sides of this. I personally, I don't think I would have taken the home game over it and found other creative ways to do NIL, but like, and there's so many things I could say about that I'm not going to, but like I understand the frustration for sure.
Listen, this is a bad look for the administration at Auburn in the fans' eyes because of what I told my wife last night. I said, these fans keep selling out Jordan-Hare Stadium in what you just said, the worst era of Auburn football that I've seen in quite some time, at least the timeline of it, dating back to Harsin up until now. You could even maybe go into some of the end of Gus's years. So the last couple of years with Gus on kind of on a downward spiral, and then Auburn still, of course, we're going into Georgia. They win this weekend. There'll be a lot of happy fans, but if
Totally.
you start 0-3 in the SEC this year, and you're talking about, hey, we appreciate you guys sitting in the stands and paying all this money on games that we've been losing and selling out Jordan-Hare the last 3 to 4 to 5 seasons. And we appreciate you guys doing that every weekend. But you know what we're going to do? We got a money grab in Atlanta. So that's what we're going to take. We're going to take the $5 million from Atlanta and give it to the players. Although you guys have been loyal and you've been in the stands and we've sold out. And that's one of the graphics they always put up is another sellout at Jordan-Hare. Well, so it's kind of like they're thumbing their nose at them now. It's like, that's cool. We appreciate you guys selling it out and you guys buying all the tickets, but Atlanta offers $5 million, so we're going to go there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting to see what happens. So, what does this mean moving forward? That's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to play daily fantasy sports. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Look, Ben, you're right on sports all the time.
Yes.
You've never been wrong.
No, I don't know about that.
So, yeah, download Prize Picks. And a lot of you watching have never been wrong. You guys call everything. You tell me in the comments all the time. Like, oh, I called this. I called that. Head over to Prize Picks right now. It's a fun, simple way to add more excitement to watching football or basketball's almost here. Baseball postseason. Just pick more or less on a player's projections, like Jackson Arnold, more passing yards, or Saquon Barkley rushes for a touchdown. That's what it says. I know Saquon Barkley does not play for Auburn. Download the Prize Pick app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 off. For $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Ben Taylor, can you imagine buying tickets outside of the Game Time app? Because I personally can't, and I will not.
You're going to have to do it because we're going to be going to Atlanta, so you're going to need to use Game Time. You can see where your seats are. You thought you knew where they were in Jordan-Hare. Now you'll know where they are whenever you
that's true.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
That's true. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the tickets for Auburn, Georgia. I mean, $450 all in. That's with fees and taxes right now if you want two together. So check out the Game Time app today. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day or your second listen. This is a bonus edition of the show. Ben Taylor of Auburn-Opelika this morning, part of the Auburn Network family of stations, hanging out with us. So what does this mean moving forward? Is this something where in this new era of SEC scheduling, are you going to see more neutral site games if you're able to benefit from NIL? Does this open the stage to more of that? Because there's always so many neutral site games, but also, and this is me being a little bit like tongue in cheek, but like if it's so beneficial to do this, why not do it more than once a season? If that's the case, to where if it's like truly worth more than a home game to you, if your players can do more, are you going to see even more neutral site games throughout college football? Being a little sarcastic there, but I still think the question's worth asking.
I know. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that this is the first step. I think that there is going to be more neutral site games. I mean, you saw it for years, and they still do it, but the quote unquote can't call it that anymore. The largest cocktail party with Florida and Georgia getting together down in Jacksonville, and the money that Jacksonville makes off of that. Man, if Atlanta sees a benefit between Baylor and Auburn, what doesn't stop Mercedes-Benz Stadium from contacting Auburn again on a weekend that the Falcons aren't playing there or they're not hosting soccer there, and they go, hey, we got this weekend. How about Arkansas? You play Arkansas. When does it turn to a conference game? And we'll pay you $7.5 million per team to come for a conference game. Like it's gonna And if that's guaranteed money that's going to go back to the players in this arms race that is taking place right now with NIL, I get, as again, I go back to, I get fans being upset, but you got to make the best decision for your program. And if that's what kids are going for, money now, not for the small town atmosphere of Auburn or for the hometown or for the quote unquote family atmosphere, if they know they're guaranteed money and we've got 2 games at neutral site, and hey, between the two, there's $15 million coming into the program that's just going to be shared with the football team only. You got to, Zac. I mean, I know we're talking about it tongue in cheek, but 5 years from now, do you not see that could be a possibility?
I totally see it being a possibility. Something that Greg Sankey was asked about this somewhat at media days. He was asked about international games, is what he was asked about. And he said his answer was, well, like the strength of this conference are the 16 individual communities. And that's what makes the SEC better than any other conference. It's what a lot of people say it's better than the NFL, is because of these on-campus experiences.
Tailgating, yep.
But then there's a caveat. Unless you can make more money doing it elsewhere.
There's nothing like the experience until you can make money without the experience. And again,
this one, like, I don't know why this one bothers me so much, Ben. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, all of the changes that have happened to college football, like, I get it. Like, I think players deserve to get paid. Transfer portal, like, if you're not gonna have limitations on coaches, like, I don't think you should have as many limitations on players. Like, I get it. I get all of that.
Yeah.
The fact they were introduced at the same time, not ideal, but like, whatever. That's part of it. And I understand this is a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but this one, this bothers me more than others for some reason. I wish I could put my finger on why.
Oh, I can put my finger on why it bothers me.
Go ahead.
They're saying the quiet part out loud. We're getting $5 million for our players. Like, they're just flat out. So long as hey, this is going to be a rev share. This is going to be something that is, split between everybody, or this is going to be good for the university. Nope. We're getting money for our players. We're getting money for our recruits. We're getting money for our players.
Yeah. And like, I want Auburn's athletes to be the highest paid student athletes in the world.
Agree.
I 100, like, that is 100% accurate, but I don't know. I just question, like, was this the only way to do that? Was this the only way to do that?
And I think, one, it's new. Number two, we're one of the first that is doing this, where it's, as I said, they're saying the quiet part out loud, where they're saying, hey, this money's going to go directly to our players. And so I think that stings a little bit too, because again, the season ticket holders are going, well, what about all the money I've been given? Where are you doing with it? And I get the questions. And I think that every fan and every loyalist has every right to ask that question. And I think that John Cohen needs to stand up and answer those questions, because this was him and the administration that made this decision. I don't think local government was discussed in it. I definitely don't think local businesses were asked about it. And this decision was made completely in a bubble inside the university. And that's another reason it kind of stings, in my opinion, because I think that it could have been handled differently, not just the players being talked about making money, which, again, you and I are totally okay with. We are firmly a positive on that. But I think it just could have been handled differently in the way it was brought about on a major decision that could eventually, for the Auburn-Opelika and Lee County area, be a $10 to $15 million mistake.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be more messaging around it for sure. So, Ben Taylor, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
AUnetwork.com. Click on the WANI logo. We do sports each and every morning after 7, but this will be a topic of discussion with local government officials. So if you want to listen to the entire show, you'll be able to get some quotes from that as well and hear how they feel about it. So come and join us.
Yeah. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.